Hey.
Most of us have fallen victim to some sort of internet trend one way or another. Maybe you've posted a simple TikTok dance, or a throwback Instagram post, or maybe you even shaved your eyebrows in those weird waves. Maybe you're a freak and have participated in trends such as eating a Tide Pod or Mommy Makeout Day.
Find some moms and play a really quick game for a really quick kiss. Let's do it.
It's hard not to fall into the trap of what gets popular, what gets the clicks, what gets the most likes.
Diet culture and trends have been around long before the World Wide Web and long before Kim Kardashian was trying to sell you diarrhea tea on your Instagram feed. 90s and early 2000s were filled with thinspo, and you really couldn't get away from it as a young, impressionable teen. Reality TV shows were centered around supermodels and high fashion.
My stomach hurts because I need some food. I'm so hungry. I thought I was going to pass out. I'm very obsessed with my weight, and I'm obsessed about what I eat.
Cassie.
She's got a cute young look. She might be a little bit. She's not exactly.
That your thighs are a little big for this dress. He was the size of her hips. I just want to measure your thighs just to see where we're at. Normally we like about no more than 35.
Were selling you diet foods and dictating what was good food and what was bad food.
Research shows if you swap your indulgent snacks for a Special K bar and have Special K for breakfast, you could lose up to an inch from your waist, bust, and hips. The 90-calorie bar from Special K. See you by the pool.
Annie Craig and Weight Watchers were at the height of their popularity.
What? I'm not cheating. Jenny lets me have chicken fettuccine, even cakes. And I've lost over 60 pounds.
Nowadays, with the rise in popularity of the internet, it almost seems taboo to promote these types of things. Thankfully, it seems humanity has caught up with the fact it's not a good idea to promote anorexia to a young, impressionable audience. However, with the fall of one trend comes the rise of another weird societal pressure. In recent years, fitness center content has gained a lot of popularity. And don't get me wrong, it's great that most of these people are using their platform for good, promoting healthy habits and fun ways to get fit. But as with most things on the internet, some people have just got to take things way too far.
Calorie challenges. A weird, overly competitive corner of YouTube. These fitness influencers take the term cheat day and turn it into a perverted, nearly unwatchable form of self-exploitation, stuffing their faces with thousands of calories in one sitting, to the point of extreme sickness and pain. They do these calorie challenges multiple times a month, binging on both food and exercise, promoting this pseudo-balanced lifestyle, when really all they're doing is participating in the most extreme form of binge eating disorder. We're not here to judge anyone. We, like vast majority of you, I'm sure, have dealt with our own versions of eating disorders. What becomes a problem is when you're promoting your eating disorder to your fans, some of which are very young, and essentially telling them that you can monetize it.
We haven't seen much coverage about this topic at all, so we decided to talk about it. I also decided to show my mom. She grew up in the thick of anorexia culture back in the 90s. I think it would be very interesting to get her perspective. And how it seems like things have changed so much. Society continues to follow into these harmful, dangerous traps. Also, this shit is just fucking weird, and I thought it'd be funny to show her. This is my mom. So how old are you?
42.
So you were a teenager in the 90s, right?
Yes.
And what kind of stuff did you see, like diet trends?
In the 90s is where the whole heroin chic vibe started to be born.
March issue of Detour magazine featured a fashion layout so blatantly heroin-inspired, it prompted several readers, including actress Juliette Lewis, to write letters of disapproval.
You've always talked about having like those supermodel posters on your bedroom
Yeah, I did.
wall.
I had stacks and stacks and stacks of fashion magazines. Like every time we went to the store, and if I could get something, it was a fashion magazine. If I could get like a subscription that you got from like those school things that you did, it would be a fashion magazine. And I was obsessed with going through and looking at the photo shoots of the girls and how they were styled and all of that, and having them on my wall. And the theme was the thinner the better, and that was through the 90s.
You would definitely say the type of content you consumed as a teen definitely impacted you.
It definitely affected a whole generation of girls. The thinner the better. It's even what you see on TV. If you go back and watch old episodes of sitcoms or TV shows, things like that, all the actresses were just stick thin. You never saw the diversity.
Well, that's what gave me specifically very bad body dysmorphia growing up, because even though I looked like a regular human being, I wasn't size 00. I thought something was legitimately wrong with me because I didn't look like these people that were popular.
It was literally the beauty standard was the smaller the better for a long time. And I think we went through periods of time to where it flip-flopped through history, because you go back and you look at the 20s, 30s, 40s, even to the 50s, where women were very voluptuous, and that was the thing to be, was, you know, even Hollywood glam, is you had curves, and your body wasn't perfect, you had poochy stomachs and cellulite and things like that, and it wasn't even hidden. You know what I mean? It was celebrated, and then you kind of go into the 60s, 70s, and 80s, where it goes to, you have to be perfect.
And that's kind of what today's video is about these trends, which are kind of different from back in the day of the anorexia culture. A supermodel being these, like I said, these double size 0 and not eating anything. It was all about, you know, Special K cereals and, you know, zero sugar alternatives to things, diet soda.
Diet. Just the diet drugs that were pushed in the 80s and 90s, and then it came out to where there was lawsuits coming out because the deaths that were happening and the health effects of years later. That's how much the, you know, just society has put pressure on women, especially, to be that thin. But I think every generation is kind of affected in a different way.
When I grew up, an era where if there was a bigger person in media, they were the butt of the joke.
Yeah.
Every time.
I think Rachel's here. Okay.
They had to be the comedic relief.
Yep. And that's how I think it's always been over the years. That's how it's always been. They've always been a secondary character,
right?
Or the comedic relief, never taken so seriously, never the norm.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it was even back in the 90s, it was actually like belittled. Women were being belittled for trying to go into certain industries, for being a little, like, you would say like a size 6, which is regular, or size 8, and they were being belittled and fat shamed, and you're like, what the hell is that? Really, to me, it's so interesting how society can shape different generations in different ways, but like in repeated cycles back to back, just a different way to repeat that cycle.
Right.
We all inflict it on each other.
So now that we kind of have a little bit of an intro to what we're going to be talking about today, Sonia and I want to show you this fellow.
This fine gentleman.
And kind of this trend of cheat days. And now it's not even really it's a cheat lifestyle.
I can see in all the videos, chicken nuggets, pizza.
We're going to go ahead and take a gander at his channel, see kind of what he has to offer right off the bat.
Heard he looks super fun.
What do you notice?
There's a lot of food, a lot of flexing,
a lot of backwards hats,
and really large portion size foods is the main trend I'm seeing. It's weird.
Do you think he's hot?
No.
Oh. So this guy, what he does, he takes it upon himself to do these calorie challenges. Started off rather simple.
I mean, 15,000 is still pretty insane.
15,000 in one day.
Yes.
No, in like one sitting.
And over the course of his channel, he's really ramped it up. And now it's culminated in the 100,000 calorie challenge.
Owning it to be healthy, right?
Uh-huh.
He gives these really weak disclaimers of like, normal smart people don't do this. Like, I'm just a professional idiot.
An individual on planet Earth stupid enough to...
And like, you're still putting it on the internet for people to consume.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Has how many subscribers and how many followers?
Almost 2 million.
And how many of those do you think are children?
The amount of people that's watching this is what's intriguing me. But I guess we're 3 of them, so I'm part of the problem. Let's dig in.
Dig in.
Oh, brother!
Saw many try this infamous challenge, fail it, and have us asking, do you even eat, bro?
It's almost like a human being shouldn't consume 100,000 calories.
Just a thought.
A little montage is, you know, perpetuating competition-based atmosphere. People, you know, push themselves to do these really insane, dangerous, painful challenges just because this fucking guy is just like, do you even eat, bro?
To get clicks, likes, you know, recognition.
And whenever I see this, it's like I always reverse it in my head. Like, oh my god, you had 100 calories today? That's way too much. Do you even not eat, bro? Yeah. It's also weird to me that like all the people in his collage he put there are like conventionally attractive.
Can you imagine if someone like Nikocado like joined me in my 100,000 calorie challenge? Like people would crucify him as like they already do.
What makes this okay? It's just as bad. These guys already have a little bit of an advantage of already being on the healthy side, and they can sort of maintain these kind of challenges easier than somebody not on the healthy side. They
like probably most of their audience.
Yes, they could develop some health issues really quickly.
I made the infamous 48,000 calories in 48 hours challenge. Followed that up the next year with the 50,000 calorie challenge. And then here we are 1 year later, hungrier than ever. And one thing seems to be on your minds. 100,000 calories. In fact, I think probably I've had that comment about 1 million times now. A lot of people seem to want me to do that. So.
On the screen, he puts up all these comments and it's like, look at all these people who want this. And like right in the middle, there's one that's just like, you're gonna die. So that's what he elected to put on the screen. Cool.
So what, he can't eat solid calories?
Right, it has to be like little snacks and like little like prepackaged processed
like a 4-year-old.
shit. Yeah. Kid in a candy store.
Come on guys, this is the illogical video. We gotta go to Krispy Kreme. This is like one of 1,000 different fast food places that I'm gonna be going to. So I'm gonna do a dozen of your original glaze, please, and 1 apple fritter and 1 blueberry.
Imagine this guy going on a date. She's like, what are you getting? And he's like, I'm gonna get the steak and the burger. Do you think they have Krispy Kreme here?
Yeah, right. Left side of the menu, please.
Yeah.
We are ready to begin the 100,000 calorie challenge.
First of all, it's not really breakfast if it's 1:30 in the afternoon. But one of my favorite parts about this video is these little title cards he makes for each meal. Each title gets less and less creative and he just looks more and more depressed and questioning why he's doing any of this.
Saturday Sugar Shock. Let's do this.
He literally eats like a video game NPC. Like,
yeah.
I shot the last bits of this. Oh man, look at that. Man.
oh, do we get the ladle? Do we get the ladle?
Ladle, ladle,
We're gonna have a moment. Cheers, guys. I'll see you guys in a little bit.
It's just like literally working out.
Can't be. That's bullshit. That has to be like a different day.
Like, it's not. You can literally see how distended his stomach is. He's seconds away from exploding.
I get that you have to work out to balance it, but to show this working out sequence right after showing you consuming all that food, I don't, it just feels weird.
It feels weird, man.
Like, look how buff I still am.
Oh my gosh. Powerade all over me and it's so cold. I have to push through. Oh
No, stand up! Pause the gorging enough to go change your pants?
Oh my goodness. I feel disgusting right now.
Is he Mormon? Is that why he likes soaking?
You need to leave!
It's not even good food. You have like a McDonald's breakfast and then like these little gas station snacks. Like, POV, you're a fucking truck driver waking up at the crack of ass dawn, and the only thing open is a Pilot's truck stop with a McDonald's attached, and you're stocking up for the day.
I legitimately feel like my stomach is about to detach from my body.
Stop!
It's Jack in the Box time.
Look at that smarmy little face he's making.
And that, my friends, is a complete breakfast.
I agree. I'm starting. He's pulling me in. I'm starting to understand.
Oh, you're understanding.
He's getting me.
You're a convert?
I get it.
So if this video gets 50,000 likes, I'll do a little aftermath video for you guys. So
What is an aftermath video?
Wait, like, you guys want to see how fucking sick I get? You want to see my stomach explode live? 60,000 likes. Like, can you imagine if, like, Nick Ocado, like, clickbaited the aftermath after his, like, crazy freak-out binges that he does?
That's the thing, though, is, like, Nick Ocado is very similar to this guy. Like, they clickbait the same shit.
Right.
But with Nick Ocado, it's like, everyone's like, oh, this guy's on the brink of death. This guy's gonna die soon.
He's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Like, it's all super negative commentary about him, which I think is deserved, but I think it's deserved in Erik's case, too, and he doesn't get it.
Right, because he's, like, he's still thin and
He's
relatively healthy.
Right, he still appears to be a healthy man.
Right. Really, the only difference between the two is that Erik fucking goes and bikes for 30 miles after he gorges himself. Like, it's like 1 mile for every 1,000 calories he consumes.
I gotta get these bad boys down.
Let's put this into perspective just for a minute. Up until this point, he's had 50,000 calories in just about like 48 hours or whatever. And now he's about to consume the beigest sandwiches you've ever seen. Like 6 of them.
It's just so many shades of brown.
Oh my gosh, 27 in the morning. We're 67 hours in. So bad news, guys. Last night I was this close to going to the emergency room.
We might be watching a man die.
I woke up with the worst headache in the world and my heart was beating super fast.
That's a pregnant man. He's even holding it like he's about to, like, give birth.
Yeah, how he said his like heart rate is up and everything. That's crazy. It can kill you, man.
This is not really attainable for the average person with an average stomach size, average stomach capacity. I'm being very clear in saying, guys, that this is not normal, and this is only something I do for YouTube and something I do just because it's absolutely crazy and not a lot of people in the world can do it. So
The way he phrased that, I hate it. Like, this isn't something the average person can really do. Like, to say that the average person can't do this is like making him sound like a fucking superhero.
Do you really think this is all real? Like, there's no trick editing he's doing or anything?
People wouldn't lie on the internet.
Never, never.
So there's a lot of issues with this, obviously. So people who competitively eat overcome the satiety reflex. And once your body does that, it can overcome the peristalsis activity, which means your body can accept an unlimited amount of food. The satiety reflex is what triggers the neural pathways in the brain that tell your body it's full. So when people are competitively eating and when they're doing this shit, they're turning off that reflex in their brain and their body's never telling them that they're full. So it's thought that 4 quarts, which is 1 gallon of food, is enough to trigger your stomach's rupture capacity. And during eating contests and during this, what we're watching, people consume several times that. And if your stomach ruptures, obviously bad, that can lead to a lethal infection.
So is it just like they're stretching out their stomach over time?
Yeah, so when competitive eaters and speed eaters are doing this, they don't want to just constantly consume massive amounts of food every single day. So on their off days where they're not eating tons of food, they're consuming water by the gallon. Just tons of water.
Which can also kill you.
Yeah, if you do that, you can get water intoxication. So I feel like Erik is maybe not giving us the full story. Shocker, I know. Because if he's doing these challenges, what, like a couple times a month?
Really, it's like once a week. If you look at his channel, he uploads one of these videos like once a week, and he actually has a second channel where he goes behind the scenes and he talks about training and for these challenges, and really it's his entire life. He trains for these food challenges, he trains to work off these food challenges.
So it's like a full-time job.
Right. Up until recently, he wasn't really portraying the bad effects of what was going on.
It was all just the fun, cheat day, fun.
Right.
Eat a lot of food.
Up until a couple months ago, he had stopped posting for a while, at least on his second channel, and then he came out with this next video that we're gonna watch.
Oh, okay.
Back to another video on electric talks. It has been a long time since I posted a video on this channel. The first 2 times that I recorded this video didn't feel like it flowed right. Oh, dang, I probably should have said that and I probably should have said that.
Put half as much effort into kind of planning out your videos as you did planning your 1,000-calorie meals.
Yeah.
You might have a little bit better time saying what you need to say in a pre-recorded video.
He's also never looked more like Logan Paul.
I feel like you all watch this channel for more than just a guy that does food challenges.
This is a separate channel, I know that, but like his 100,000 calorie video we just watched got what, like 15 million views, and this got around 300,000.
Right.
So like the comments are all very supportive, but there's millions of people who didn't click on this video because they just don't care.
Sorry.
Just saying.
Starting to actually do more of the health videos on this channel, talk more about my overall health. Things were not very good. Been just starting to take endurance training more seriously.
So am I supposed to feel bad? Because from what I'm seeing is you're just upset that your lifestyle is catching up to you. Like
and we're supposed to feel sorry for him.
His entire life revolves around these challenges. Like if you take a look at this channel, like the day I became an Iron Man, how I prepare for massive calorie challenges, the truth about the 10,000 calorie, eating 10,000 calories, biking 100 miles, in and out, weekly marathon.
Again, the views, 55K, 24, compared to the millions. People don't care about the prep that he's doing or the health effects after the fact. They only want to see you gorge yourself.
In case you haven't known, I've been very public with my health over the years. I've done a lot of videos talking about my blood work.
Interesting to say I've been very public about my health and then titling this finally talking about my health issues.
Talk about anything that's health related. I get a lot of people that try to correlate what I do with my food challenges with anything that goes on in my life that has to do with health.
Try to correlate? Yeah. I mean, try to correlate something that has a direct line of
connection?
Yeah.
There's going to be a ton of people out there that are going to jump on the train and just say that it's just because of what you do, Eric. That may be true. It may also not be true. So
this seems dangerous to me to be. It's so, like, people are trying to connect them, and it just doesn't make sense, because, like, it is connected. Your health is connected to what you're eating. And to say to your audience, like, I can't believe people are trying to, that's not something you should be promoting to your child audience.
I find him being, like, coming out very defensive, like, about it as well.
Throughout this whole thing, he talks about these issues that he has, but he never talks about what causes these issues. It's very interesting how he never answers the question of why.
Because if he admits that, then he's gonna have to admit that the problem is the eating challenges, and he doesn't want to stop doing the eating challenges because
money.
I started to do more running. I started to do more just longer distance training, and I started to experience a lot of highs and lows. It's totally normal for people to go through highs and lows. It's a part of being a human being.
Talk about your highs and lows, Eric. Do normal people experience the high of gaining 30 pounds in one day? Or do we talk about the highs of you biking 135 miles in one day? Do normal people experience those types of highs and lows? He tries to equate himself to the normal person, but normal people don't do this.
Normal people can't do this.
Going into my Ironman, which happened in October, I was really not sure if I was going to be able to actually complete this. What if the week of the Ironman, what if one of those low points hits you and you're just not going to be able to pull through?
This is what happens when you put your unhealthy lifestyle on the internet for people to egg on. You put unrealistic expectations on yourself to achieve these massive feats, and people get invested, and so now you feel the weight of their expectations on your shoulders. And then when you're suddenly finding yourself in a place where it's like, God, I don't even know if I can do this. But now you've kind of trapped yourself into it. And then meanwhile, you're training for this insane Ironman challenges. You're stuffing your face and doing these absurd calorie challenges. And then then you're shocked that you don't know if you can compete in an Ironman challenge.
I feel bad for him. He's backed himself into this corner.
Well, yeah.
You can always unback yourself out of a fucking corner, especially this corner that is strictly self-induced.
I get that. It's hard to walk away from the amount of money I'm sure he's making.
Yeah.
And I know that this is self-inflicted, and I get that. It's just like, he's been egged on to, and as someone who is so susceptible to peer pressure, I feel bad for him.
January came and it just became almost unbearable. I reached out to the functional medicine doctor that I was working with, and we did another round of blood work, and my thyroid levels came back, and I've had history of hypothyroidism, and there's a marker that came back as high, and it showed that my TPO antibodies were elevated, and that's generally a sign of Hashimoto's disease.
You know what causes Hashimoto's, Eric? There's a lot of things that can cause Hashimoto's. Well, let's talk about your specific case. And by the way, I can speak on this because I have Hashimoto's. But a lot of the times Hashimoto's comes about because of trauma to your body. And so do you not maybe thinking doing repeated abuse to your body of binge exercising, doing these Ironman challenges, and then doing these 50,000 calorie challenges? What's trauma your body's experiencing? Like, how is this not, like, how is what he's doing not considered binge eating?
He's binging and purging. He's just purging in a different way.
And exercising.
Yeah.
We're not here to judge, right? We all have our issues with disordered eating, but we're also not promoting it on the internet and acting like everything's fine and dandy and making money off of it. People so strongly discourage binge eating, and people so strongly discourage binge exercising, and you're doing both. And your thyroid is what, you know, it controls your metabolism, it's what controls your weight fluctuations, your mood. So if that thing is off, everything is going to be off. That's why all your symptoms are as bad as they are. And I've been told by my own doctors that I have to cut out, like, you know, processed sugar and all the shit that you eat thousands of calories of, because it just makes it worse. There's literal scientific backing that what you put in your body affects you. And it's so disingenuous to imply that that's not the case that's happening here.
A stool test as well. And the stool test came back and showed a lot going on. The main things were that I had a very high level of gut inflammation. The biggest thing that came back on the stool test was candida. Yeah, that's not good. And so my functional medicine doctor that I was working with basically just goes, okay, well, we're going to put you on a supplement called Candibactin AR and BR. Also, you're going to take a GI binder, which...
He heard candy and he was like, I'm in.
Like, yeah, he's like, sign me up. Add this to my next challenge, doc.
So yeah, I did this protocol for almost 8 weeks. I was on this stuff. I was nauseous all the time. It got to the point where I would have dinner or just a regular meal and I would just get nauseous and I would just throw up. My theory is just because I was taking all these herbal like things that my body wasn't used to, I just felt like nauseous all the time.
So you would rather poison yourself than stop eating 20,000 calories at a time? That would also work than taking these anti-fucking microbials or...
Yeah, I mean, if the damage is done, take whatever you gotta take to reverse the damage, but it's gonna come right back if you don't stop.
Again, because he's not addressing the why did he get all this, he's conveniently leaving that part out.
Yeah.
My whole thing is if I'm gonna do something like this, I wanna do it right, I want to get this out of my system, and I want to be done with it.
But you will never be done with it. With something especially like your Hashimoto's, that's a lifelong thing. You will never be done with it. That's what you, especially if you don't change your lifestyle. That's what he's failing to understand, is that he's taking the steps to treat it without taking the steps to prevent it. All right, so what did you think?
He needs to fucking stop. Seriously, I feel a little bit differently than I did in the beginning, just because I do feel like he has a little bit of mental health issue going on. I don't know, can't say for sure. Be real about your health, dude. Just like be real about it and be like, do I want to go through life feeling like shit so I can get some likes and some views and maybe live a cushy life with some cash, or do I want to live as much life as I can and be here as long as I can and feel as good as I can? And, you know, maybe do something else that is not as, you know.
Yeah, you don't have to do these calorie challenges. You already have an established audience now, and by some of these comments, it looks like some of these people actually genuinely care about you. So you can, now's a good chance for you to pivot into something else.
You have the platform.
But this video was posted a month ago, and since then you've posted like 4 calorie challenges since then.
I don't know. I think it's sad, and I think it's sad the amount of influence he has on some people that maybe aren't paying attention to the health side or anything like that. Maybe are trying to replicate him on the side, you know, on their own at home. So I hope he has a change of heart at some point. But you know, leopard doesn't tend to change its spots very often.
I feel bad for him. I think this was self-inflicted, and I can acknowledge that, but I think it's clearly has some issues with depression. He's damaging his mental health and his physical health, and he's getting paid to do that, and I think that's a corner that's really hard to back out of.
Yeah.
And so I feel for him, and I hope that he can get some help for those issues, because if he keeps doing this, it's
going to end in it's going down a bad path.
It's going down a very bad path, and you have people who, your comments are full of people who are saying that they want to support you no matter what. So pivot your content. Just do an eat with me of a normal sized meal.
Do literally anything else.
Just something else. They'll watch.
Show your exercise routines.
You know what? If they don't watch, then you know what? Who cares?
At least you're gonna live.
Exactly.
If you guys liked today's video, make sure to drop a like, and if you want to see more of 3 women complaining on the internet, then subscribe. And if you have any suggestions for content I should show my mom, then drop a comment. Thanks.